Hey there, I'm Ami Devereaux. Believe it or not, it's almost a quarter of the way into 2022. And I don't know about you, but it seems to me like it's gone really, really fast. Now, back at the beginning of 2022, or really whatever year you're watching this, you probably set some goals. Maybe you made some New Year's resolutions. Have you thought about them lately? We make these resolutions, and then for a ton of people, they either disappear completely, or the very first time you try to make steps toward that new habit or working on that project, you fail or you forget to do it. You say you're not going to snack at night, and then you do snack at night, and then you think to yourself, oh my God, I've already screwed it up, and you give up. Or you take some steps, but eventually it falls off your radar screen. So, since we have this weird moment in time, and by weird I mean almost the beginning of spring, it's weird, although it happens every year. This is an opportunity for us to seize upon something called the fresh start effect. Now, the fresh start effect is something you are probably ridiculously familiar with. It's the idea that at some actually arbitrary but moment in time that feels significant to us, it feels like the new beginning of something, we can declare a clean slate and start something new. You probably experience this every time you do a tailgate on a Sunday and you eat tons of pizza and drink a lot of beer, and then you say to yourself, starting tomorrow, Monday morning, I'm going to eat healthy. Or you end up kind of hanging out all weekend and not doing anything very healthy. And then Monday morning, you wake up fresh and you go to the gym. And we know this happens for lots of people. Now, it's been described by scientists like Dr. Katie Milkman, and in fact, she coined the phrase, but really, you don't have to be a psychologist to know this experience. We all do it. Your birthday runs around, you decide, runs around, your birthday comes around, and you decide, I'm going to start this year to write every single night in my journal. Or you hit your anniversary and you decide, this is the year we're going to take the trips we've been planning. Wherever those occasions come up is an opportunity to start something new. And it's a moment in time where our psychology lends itself to our being successful. And in fact, that's why we make New Year's resolutions, because of course, the beginning of a brand new year is a natural line of demarcation. But since New Year's resolutions so frequently kind of disappear on us, it seems to me like spring is a really good moment to revisit it, because spring is already in our cultural mindset as a time for rebirth, for renewal. That's when the flowers bloom, the birds start singing. That's when we have Easter, which in Christian religion means a great deal. That's when pagans believe it's an opportunity for spiritual renewal. And if you're a gardener like me, of course, that's when you finally begin to plant a bunch of flowers and everything blooms. So let's revisit your New Year's resolution. Now, hopefully it's still relevant, but if it isn't, create a new one. No time like the present, right? Come up with a specific goal that you're really committed to having happen that's not going to happen anyway. And then take a couple of steps to give yourself way better odds of success. So here are the steps. And you can read much more about this with some more detail and some citations to research and some other material if you subscribe to my newsletter, and you do that by going to beyondbetter.io. But whether or not you do that, here are some of the things you should do. First of all, don't keep it a secret. I know we love to keep these things secret because we're afraid of ending up being ashamed if we fail. But if you tell loads of people, you craft an environment where there's a bunch of people waiting for you to succeed. If you say you're going to write a book, now you have an audience waiting to read it. If you say you're going to finish a marathon, now you have a bunch of supporters who will be there on the route clapping for you. So make it public. Put it on social media, tell your family, tell your friends. That supportive structure is really helpful, but so is the stick in this carrot stick equation. Since we don't like to fail in public, you create a kind of disincentive to give it up. The other thing is, among those people you tell, ask one of them to be an accountability partner. Now, I do this for some of my clients. They will text me and tell me what they're going to do as a workout today, and then they text me at the end of the day and tell me that they did it. Now, when I don't get that text from them, they hear from me. How does this work? It works because I'm holding their feet to the fire. I can't do the exercise for them, right? But what they've done is they've outsourced a little piece of the willpower it takes to do it. And I'm happy to be that accountability partner. You don't need a coach to do it. You can ask a friend, a spouse, a peer, somebody who will hold your feet to the fire. Next, do what so many of us forget to do in our personal lives. We do it at work all the time. You would never create a long-term complicated project without a plan. You would never put out the next version of your software without a planned sprint. But we don't do that for our personal goals. So this time, make a plan. Work backwards from the final goal, come up with the milestones, distinguish the tasks that are going to have to happen, put the tasks in your calendar, and bit by bit, like putting a penny in a bank account every week, the interest compounds. Do those tasks week in, week out, and you will accomplish your goal. And finally, create a supportive structure. In other words, make your environment one that persuades you to do the good behavior or not do the behavior you're trying to give up. For example, if you're trying to stop snacking at night and you notice that every time you turn on the TV, you go to the fridge, maybe that's a good time to change that triggering event. Because we're really just like Pavlov's dogs, right? And you turning on Netflix is a lot like Pavlov ringing the bell. So instead, maybe watch TV in a different room, or don't watch TV. Instead, read a book. Ask your friends or your roommates or your spouse to play a board game. Go for a run. Make that your exercise time. Change the trigger or the sequence of events that precedes the activity you're trying to stop doing, and it'll make it that much easier to stop doing it. And you can do this kind of analysis about any habit, because every habit lives inside of a structure that includes a trigger, that's a stimulus for us to begin that activity. I hope this is helpful. Do revisit your New Year's resolutions or make a new one. Seize upon the renewal opportunity that spring is and the opportunity that the fresh start effect gives us to draw a line in the sand and make sure that this year you get that resolution fulfilled and that you end the year with that extraordinary sense of accomplishment. I'm Ami Devereaux. Please subscribe to my channel down below. Also, go to my website at beyondbetter.io and subscribe to the newsletter, and then you'll get that straight into your inbox with all the research that supports it. Thank you.